Ustad, you can start now. Everything is ready.
Good.
Up to you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته جميعا. Good to see you again in a new session in our Friday class. May Allah make such sessions blessed and benefit us all inshallah. بارك الله فيكم. We are still going over the book My Worship, Ibadati, right? And we have completed unit 1 of the book, which is pertinent to ablution wudu. And we started the second unit, which is pertinent to salah, prayer. And we have started in the previous class learning how to perform the salah step by step. So now I need your help to do a quick recap on what we have covered in the previous class. Can someone demonstrate for me how to perform a complete rak'ah? You can just verbally say what exactly you do from the beginning of the first rak'ah until the end of the rak'ah itself. Or we can break it down into steps, okay? So instead of someone saying, or is there someone there amongst you guys who's willing to do that? To verbally mention what exactly we do in the first rak'ah. Show me a hand if you guys are willing to do that. Otherwise, we'll break it down into steps, okay? So the first step in starting the salah, just from your mind, don't look into the notes, okay? Abdurrahman Arif, yes, go ahead, son.
Intention.
Good. So we start first by having an intention. When do we have the intention, guys? Do we have intention when we are still at home before going to the masjid? Or the intention should be attended when exactly? Carry on, Abdurrahman, if you have an answer. So when we should attend the intention in our heart?
When starting to pray.
Yes, exactly. When we stand in the row, right? And before doing the takbir, we attend in our heart that now I'm praying Dhuhr prayer, for instance. Okay, so attend in your mind and heart, I'm going to perform the Dhuhr prayer. But do not say, I am going to perform Dhuhr prayer for rak'ah, hadiran, and behind the imam, and so on. No, don't do that. Just attend in your heart that I'm standing to pray Dhuhr prayer. Good. So what is the next step, guys? Next step, guys. So I stood up, now facing the Qibla, ready to get into Salah. I had the intention. How do I start Salah? Come on, you guys. Abdullah and Abdurrahman, Omar and Abdullah, Hamza. Abdullah Baul, go ahead, please.
Basmallah.
Sorry?
Bismillah, isn't it?
No, before, now you said the intention, right? What do you do after the intention to start the Salah?
Allahu Akbar.
Ahsant, you say Allahu Akbar. But can you show me? The Abdullah left. Can someone show me how? Abdullah, can you show me how do you do Allahu Akbar? How do you say Allahu Akbar and how do you perform it? Good. So to where do you raise your hands?
Ear level.
So parallel to the ear, right? But don't touch the ear lobe, okay? And again, when you raise your hand, guys, you don't have to close them and you don't have to open them. So be yourself like that, okay? Normal, regularly. Okay, like this, facing the Qibla direction, but not like this or like this, okay? Facing the Qibla direction, parallel to the ear lobe, not touching the ear lobe, okay? Parallel only, or parallel to what? What is the other position? What do you think, Abdullah? Abdullah Paolo. We have two positions, right? Either parallel to the ear or parallel to
the shoulders.
shoulders. Good. Shoulders, like this position, okay? Say Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. All is fine. But be careful. This is not right. This is not right. Yeah, this is not right. Many people, they do that. They make sure that their thumbs touches the earlobe. This is not from the Sunnah. It's like I demonstrated for you. طيب. After that, what's next, guys? What happens to the hand? Abdurrahman, Paolo.
Ustad, shouldn't Abdullah continue that?
No, everyone says one step and then we can rotate.
Okay, so he finished doing this, right?
Okay. Then tell
So
me,
he finished.
how do you put your hands and where do you put them?
So as soon as the hands are in the earlobe level or shoulder level, you put it on your chest. So
Good.
with your left hand first and your right hand above the left hand.
Okay. طب
And
معلش,
then-
one step back. When we say Allahu Akbar and raise our hand, remember, guys, what is the case here? Remember I said either Allahu Akbar before raising the hand or after the hand or with the hand. You guys recall this?
At the same time.
Yeah, either at the same time, Allahu Akbar, okay, or Allahu Akbar, then I raise my hand. Or I raise my hand, then I say Allahu Akbar. All is fine. All is fine. Then the step that you have mentioned, Abdurrahman, you place your hands on top of each other. Is it the left on top of the right?
No, the right on top of the left.
Good. How exactly do we place them on top of each other?
It can either be from your hand to the wrist,
Okay.
or your hand to the shoulder, like around middle the shoulder. And
Not the
I think
shoulder. Not the shoulder.
wait, my bad. I mean the arm. So your
yes,
hand to the
yes.
arm, and then your hand to the hand.
Okay. So again, it's either, like expanding it like this, okay, or holding the hand, holding the wrist, hand, and arm, and holding the arm, right? But do not do both. Do not try to, with some fingers, extend, with the remaining fingers, hold. It's either extend or hold. Did you get this, guys? Either extend or hold. But what about if someone holds his elbow? Is this fine? No, it's not the sunnah to hold the elbow while we are in salah. Excellent. طيب, what is the next step? So now we have placed our hands on top of each other. What do we do next? Hamza, are you with us, ya Hamza? Abdullah Khan, do you remember what exactly we do next? We recite Surah Al-Fatiha. Excellent. Type. Before reciting Surah Al-Fatiha, is there something that we do? I did not mention it here in the book because this book is actually for beginners. Yeah. But it is from the Sunnah that we say what? An opening dua, right? An opening dua, like dua. Ahsanti, Abdullah. We have a dua to say. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وتبارك اسمك وتعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك. Okay, so he said this dua, or there is also other adiyah that we may say. And after that, we recite, like Abdullah Khan said, we recite Al-Fatiha. We start by saying silently, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, then Bismillah, and then we recite Surah Al-Fatiha. But what we do after that, after reciting Al-Fatiha, Hamza is not with us, I guess. Hamza, are you there, Hamza?
So he raised his hand.
Sorry?
Hamza is raising right now.
Hamza, okay. Hamza, answer, ya Hamza. What exactly we do next after reciting Al-Fatiha? like Hamza has a problem with his mic. Musa is in. Abdurrahman Arif, go ahead.
You recite some verses
Good.
other than Fatiha.
Good. You may recite short chapters of the Quran, a short chapter or some verses of the Quran after Al-Fatiha. Okay. So reciting some verses of the Quran after Al-Fatiha only happens in the first and second rak'ah, right? So the third rak'ah, if you're praying Maghrib, you don't recite anything after Al-Fatiha. The fourth rak'ah, if you are in Dhuhr, Asr, or Isha, you don't recite verses after Al-Fatiha. It's not from the Sunnah to do so. طيب. What's next? So you finished reciting Al-Fatiha and a short chapter. What's next? Omar, are you with us, Omar?
Me?
Yes, go ahead, son. What exactly we do after completing reciting Al-Fatiha and reading a short chapter of the Quran, for instance? We go to which position? Now we finished, right?
I forgot how to call again, but like you need to bend over.
Right. To make ruku', right? To make
Yeah,
ruku'.
ruku', yeah, ruku'.
Yes, to make ruku'. Good. So you need to move to ruku'. Remember in the ruku', when we go down, we say Allahu Akbar, right? We say Allahu Akbar.
Yes.
We say Allahu Akbar while moving down, not while standing. When we start moving down, we say Allahu Akbar and go to ruku' position. Okay. And the ruku', remember we said it has to be like 90 degrees, perpendicular, right? You have to be in a perpendicular position. Good. أحسنت يا عمر. طيب. What's the next step, guys? Hamza, are you with us, ya Hamza? Hamza has a problem, I guess, with his mic. Musa, are you with us, ya Musa?
Yes.
Okay, Musa, we are now in a ruku' position. What's the next step?
Then you stand up and say Sami Allahu liman hamidah.
Good. You say Sami Allahu liman hamidah. When do you say Sami Allah liman hamidah, ya Musa? While in a ruku' position?
After the ruku, you stand back up and then you say Sami Allahu liman hamidah.
Okay. Do you guys agree with Musa that now you're in ruku' position? Okay. So once you stand, then you say Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Once you complete standing, you say Sami Allahu liman hamidah. You guys agree?
No. You say it
Hamza
in your heart.
Hamza does not agree. Why not, ya Hamza?
Because we have to say Sami Allahu liman hamidah while going up.
Ahsan. So correct, ya Musa. Correct your answer, ya Musa. When we move, while moving up, we say Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Because this remembrance, Sami Allahu liman hamidah, is said in transition when you transition from ruku' to qiyam, standing. Not while in ruku' you say it, or while you're standing. It is the remembrance of transitioning from ruku' to standing. So while you start immediately moving from ruku', you say Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Once you stand, what do you do then, guys? Hamza, what do you do once you stand?
You say Rabbana wa lakal hamd.
Ahsan. Ahsan. So let me also mention to you that you can say Rabbana wa lakal hamd in many ways. You can either say Rabbana lakal hamd or Rabbana wa lakal hamd or Allahumma Rabbana lakal hamd, Allahumma Rabbana wa lakal hamd. So those four ways are all fine. So either without Allahumma, you say Rabbana lakal hamd, Rabbana wa, you add wa lakal hamd. And then you add Allahumma with the same two cases earlier. Allahumma Rabbana lakal hamd, Allahumma Rabbana wa lakal hamd. Clear so far, guys? Good. طيب, now what is the next step? One thing here. In ruku' position, guys, where exactly do we place our hands? In ruku' position, where exactly do we place our hands?
Can I tell? I'm Hamza.
Hamza, go ahead, yeah, Hamza, yes.
On the knees.
On the knees. How exactly do we do it?
We put our hands on our knees like that.
Okay. Is your video working or not, yeah, Hamza?
Yeah, it is working.
Okay. Can you play the video and show us exactly how?
Like this.
Good, Ahsan. Holding the knees, right? Like
Yes.
this is the knees. You hold it like this with opening fingers. You hold it like that. Good. But tell me, guys, sometimes we see people. Good, thank you, Hamza. Sometimes we see people when they make ruku', before ruku' they're standing, they go to ruku', Allahu Akbar, Sami Allahu Hamdah, quickly, without giving time in ruku'. Is this behavior correct, guys, in Salah? What do you guys think? Musa, go ahead.
It's not.
It's not. What's wrong with it?
It's because you have to say Subhan Rabbil Ala, and so
Rabbil
you don't
Azim,
have to,
right?
yeah,
Subhan
Subhan
Rabbil
Rabbil Azim. Yeah, and you don't have the time. You just go down and come up. That's not right.
Ahsant ya Musa. So we need to take your time when you make ruku'. We have to do itmi'inan. Itmi'inan means take your time. Take your time in every position. Do not rush. Sometimes you see people, when they do sujood, they do like this. Quickly. The sujood, they go immediately. They even say the remembrance of the sujood while they are going down. So they just hit immediately the ground and then move up immediately. This is not correct. Same thing with the ruku'. Once you make ruku', you need to take your time. Once you reach the ruku', then you say the remembrance of the ruku'. Don't say the remembrance of the ruku' while going down. This is what some may do. While going down, they may say the dua of ruku'. Once they reach the ruku', they immediately move up, losing saying the remembrance of ruku' in its position, in its correct position, and also not maintaining the itmi'inan, to take time in the ruku'. So once you reach ruku', then slowly you say Subhan Rabbil Azim. Subhan Rabbil Azim, and so on. Okay, or other remembrances that we have in Salah for ruku'. طيب, we said we stand after ruku', and then next step is, what was the remembrance for standing? Rabbana wa lakal hamd, right? And then we go to sujood position, right? How do we go to sujood position?
Yes.
Abdurrahman Arif, how do we go to sujood position? So we're standing after ruku', right? So what do we do next? Your mic is muted, Abdurrahman.
You do sujood.
You go to sujood. So how exactly do we do it? So we're standing after ruku'.
You do like this and say Allahu Akbar.
Ahsan. You say Allahu Akbar, you go down. Do you raise your hand here when you go to sujood?
No.
Yeah, you just go to sujood, say Allahu Akbar, go to sujood. Good. So once we make sujood, do we place our hands first or our knees first? Remember what we
Knees?
said last time? If you say knees, you're correct. If you say hands, you are correct also. So both are fine, because this is an issue between the scholars. Some say you go with your knees, some say you go with your hands. So whichever you're fine.
What if you do both?
It's fine. It's fine. If you go one time with your hand and another time with your knees first, this is fine. Both are fine, inshallah. طيب, in sujood position, what exactly touches the ground? In sujood position, what exactly touches the ground? Ahmad Sheikh, you have an answer? When you are in sujood position.
So the palms
Good. The palms,
and the forehead
forehead,
and the nose
the nose, good.
and the knees
The two knees, good.
and this part of the foot.
Good. The 2 feet, right? The 2 feet, the toes must be touching the ground. Okay, what if someone went to sujood and he raised one knee from touching the ground intentionally? Okay, it's not because he has pain or something. He's healthy and good, but he intentionally did not put one of the knees on the ground. Is his salah valid?
No.
No, he must put all these 7 parts. The 7 parts are, remember, those 7 parts are the forehead, the nose, the 2 hands, the 2 knees, and the 2 feet. The toes of the 2 feet must touch the ground.
Ustad,
Go ahead, Ahmed.
Ustad, suppose somebody he has an injury or something on one of these parts, is it allowed to keep it off the ground?
Yeah, it's fine. If someone has an injury, or he cannot, put his foot on the ground, or he cannot put the other hand because it is broken, for instance, he cannot put it on the ground, it's fine to use only one hand, because this guy is excused, right? He has an excuse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah will not burden a soul except with what it is able to do so. So he will not tell us to do something beyond our ability. The exalted he is. فاتقوا الله ما استطعتم. Like he said to Imran ibn Hussein, صلي قائما فإن لم تستطع فجالسا فإن لم تستطع فعلى جنب. Pray standing if you cannot. Pray while sitting. If you cannot, pray while you are lying on your side. So once if we fail to do one of the pillars of Salah, because of not being able to, we are excused. We are excused. طيب, so in sujood, how do we place our hands in the ground? I mean, do we stay close, having our shoulders close to our sides, or do we try to spread our hands a bit away? What do you guys think?
I think it depends on the space you have.
Who's saying this?
Me.
Abdullah, okay. Yes, if you are praying on your own, then it is from the sunnah to extend your hands a bit away from your face, okay? Extend it a little bit. And there like in the picture I've shown you in the book, your elbow is a bit away from your sides. So this is the sunnah. Okay, good. طيب, what about your feet? How should they look like when you are in a sujood position? Remember, you guys? Abdullah Khan, do you remember? طيب, who can tell us, guys? Musa, go ahead. Yes, Abdullah is writing. We go to like Tahiyyat position.
It should be facing the Kaaba.
Yes, Tahiyyat position, it's when we sit, Abdullah. When we sit, it's like Tahiyyat position. But in this case of sujood, both feet should be sticking together, right? And the toes, we do our best to make it face the Qibla direction. Make it face the Qibla direction. If someone cannot do so, make it face the Qibla direction. Is it fine if you bend them back against the Qibla direction? What do you guys think?
Ustad, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, in the sujood position, it is from the sunnah to make the toes bending toward the Kaaba direction, right? If someone fails to sit to make sujood in a such manner, and he bends his toes against the Qibla direction, in the other direction, like this, for instance, not like this to the back, while sticking together. Is this fine?
I don't think it's fine.
Ustad,
Do you guys agree with Abdurrahman?
can Ustad,
Go ahead.
if he
Ustad.
cannot, then it's excused for him.
Yes. If he cannot, it's fine if he does so. Okay. It's better that you do that. Make your toes face the Qibla direction. And you're rewarded.
Because it is sunnah.
Yeah, exactly. Because there is sunnah. If there is sunnah, meaning that if you do it, you get reward. If you don't do it, if you fail to do it, then there is no sin against you. You're safe, inshallah. But always better to stick to the sunnah. Why? To collect more reward in our prayer. So we stick to the sunnah as much as we can, inshallah. So now we completed the sujood, the first sujood, right? What do we do after the first sujood?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Abdurrahman.
In sujood, do you have to separate your fingers?
It's okay. I mean, you try to make it face the Qibla, but don't separate them like that, okay? Just try to make them close to each other, facing the Qibla direction, okay? And not sticking to your face, not too far from your face, okay? But another thing, what do we say in the sujood, guys? What is the remembrance in the sujood that we say? Abdurrahman, go ahead. Rahman Arif, go ahead.
You say Subhana Rabbiyal A'la.
Good. You say Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. Subhan Rabbiyal A'la. The least perfect number of times that you say Subhan Rabbiyal A'la.
One time.
It's one time, but least perfect. The least without being least perfect. The least is one time. The least perfect is
three
times. Ahsanti Abdurrahman, 3 times. The least perfect 3 times. If you say it more, it's better. 5 times, 7 times, this is better. Because it shows that you are putting more itmi'nan in your salah. More time in your salah, in your sujood, in your ruku', you're taking your time. Good. After we move up from sujood, or the next step after the first sujood, what do we say? What do you guys think? Hamza.
Can you repeat?
The next after sujood. Next step after sujood.
We sit. We go.
Okay, we sit. Good. We go to sitting position. What do we say when we move to sitting position? No, no. When we move up to sitting position, Hamza.
Allahu Akbar while going up.
Good. While going up. No, don't say it while you are in sujood. Don't say it while you are sitting. No. While moving up from sujood to sitting position, you say Allahu Akbar. Good. Now in sitting position, what is the position of your feet? Now we can refer to Abdullah's Khan answer like a tahiyyat position, right? We sit like a tahiyyat position. Bending the left foot while sitting on it, and the right foot toes toward the Qibla, right? The toes to this is the sunnah. If you can sit in any way you like. You cannot sit in such a manner. Another sit only in between sujood, the sitting between the sujood. You may bend your toes, 2 toes toward the Kaaba direction, like in the case of sujood, the same way, and you sit on your feet. So your feet are bent toward the Kaaba direction, and you're sitting on your 2 feet. This is the sitting position, which is allowed. But this pose is not allowed in tashahhud. Be aware of this. You cannot sit in tashahhud while having both of your feet together and toes facing the qibla direction. Did you get this, guys? So this sitting while having 2 feet together, toes facing the qibla, this is allowed in tashahhud, allowed in sujood, and allowed in sitting between the sujood, in between the 2 sujood. Clear so far? But it is not allowed in tashahhud to sit like that. You're not allowed to sit like that in tashahhud. Tashahhud, you bend your foot, sit on it, and let the other foot standing with toes facing the qibla direction. But what do we say in the sitting between the 2 sujood?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Can we also sit like we sit in the tashahhud, the place of the foot, like in between the sujood?
Yes, you can do that. You're in between sujood, you can sit like tashahhud, where you sit on the left foot and you let the erect the right foot, toes facing the qibla. Yeah, this is fine in between the 2 tashahhud, the 2 sujood, sitting position. This is fine to do so. Okay, this is fine to do so. وإياكم يا حمزة. طيب, what do we say in the remembrance while sitting in between the 2 sujood? Who remember, guys?
Can I tell?
Okay, Abdullah had written ربي اغفر لي ربي اغفر لي. In the Sunnah dua, I cannot remember. طيب, Hamza, Abdullah Khan is saying, you say ربي اغفر لي, ربي اغفر لي. Yes, you say ربي اغفر لي 2 times. So if you just limit it to that, this is fine. ربي اغفر لي, ربي اغفر لي, meaning, oh, my Rabb, forgive me, my Rabb, forgive me. So this is the, and there are other remembrances, but for now, try to remember this, inshallah ta'ala. طيب. Then what's next after that, guys? After sitting between the 2 sujood, the next step is?
That is this after tashahhud?
No, before tashahhud. We are now sitting between the 2 sujood, right? So we did the first sujood, we sit. What's next?
Sujood again.
Sujood again. How do we do the sujood? What do we say?
While sitting, you say Allahu Akbar. You either say Allahu Akbar and then make the sujood, or say Allahu and do the sujood.
Do you guys agree with Abdul Rahman here? Remember,
No.
those takbir, Abdul Rahman, is called takbiratul intiqal, the transitioning takbir, meaning that it is said while what? While moving,
While
right?
transitioning.
Yes, while transitioning. So you're sitting for sujood, between the 2 sujood, while going down, you say Allahu Akbar. Okay, so better to complete before reaching the ground. Allahu Akbar. So this is the sunnah in doing so, because this takbir is positioned while transitioning. Okay, and then the same way like we did sujood in the first time, we do it the second time. By this, we have completed a full rak'ah. Okay, now we need to stand for what? The second rak'ah. So we'll just skip the book where it mentions the second rak'ah, because we'll do the same thing while moving up to the, let me just share the screen with you guys so you can understand what I'm pointing to here. Okay, performing the second rak'ah. Okay, so in the second rak'ah, here we are still in the second sujood, right? For the first rak'ah. Then we move up. We move up to the second rak'ah. So we say Allahu Akbar while moving. We say Allahu Akbar. And in the same manner that we did in the first rak'ah, we recite Al-Fatiha, another chapter of the Quran, and then we complete the same steps, 14 of the steps for the first rak'ah. Okay, all exactly the same. The second rak'ah is exactly the same like the first rak'ah. Once we complete the second rak'ah, so at the end of the second rak'ah, we have sujood, the second sujood, right? Once we finish the sujood, what do? We sit for tashahhud. So in salah, after every 2 rak'ah, there is tashahhud. If you are praying Fajr, only 2 rak'ah, then you sit for tashahhud. But this time, this tashahhud is the only tashahhud, only one tashahhud, right? If you are praying Dhuhr prayer, Asr, or Isha, which are 4 rak'ah, after the second rak'ah, you sit for the first tashahhud. The first tashahhud. Is this clear, guys? The second tashahhud, or the first tashahhud, you recite while you are sitting in the first tashahhud. How exactly do we sit for the tashahhud? It's like this in the picture here. Notice the feet, you sit on the left foot, right? And the right foot is erected while toes are facing the Qibla direction. What about your hands? The left hand is close to the knee of your left knee, almost the edge of the thigh, close to the knees. The second, you point to the Qibla direction. You hold your fingers. It's fine if you hold the fingers like this. Let me just get the camera right. Like this or like this, it's all fine. And the finger is pointing to the Qibla direction, okay? You don't bend the finger. You don't move it up. No, it's Qibla direction. Okay, guys? So this is how you sit for tashahhud. And you point completely, in the complete tashahhud, your finger to the Qibla direction. Some scholars opined that you just, when you remember Allah's name, you move it up. When you remember Allah's name. Some say you shake it like this. And some say you always keep it, stable without movement and all the time facing the Qibla direction. Okay. This is a strong opinion, to keep it like this all the time, facing the Qibla direction. So again, once you do that, this is what you recite in the tashahhud. Who guys amongst you read Arabic? I want someone to read the Arabic tashahhud here. Go ahead, Hamza.
التحيات لله والصلاة والطيبات السلام عليك أيها النبي
والصلوات والطيبات
والصلوات والطيبات السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد
أحسنت
مجيد.
يا حمزة، ما شاء الله ما شاء الله. Well read يا حمزة. طيب شهر recite the first tashahhud. Okay. Some scholars may say you only recite up to وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله and stop there. And they say this is complete tashahhud, you recite it at the end. While for the first tashahhud, you recite up to here. This is one said opinion. Others said no. In both cases, you recite the entire tashahhud. In both cases, you recite the entire tashahhud, whether it is the first tashahhud or the last tashahhud. So this is what you do, and this is what you recite once you sit after 2 rak'ah for the tashahhud. Are we doing good so far, guys?
I have a
Excellent.
question.
Go ahead.
Which is a stronger opinion, to read the half or the full?
To be on the safe side, better recite the entire tashahhud. Okay. Better recite the entire tashahhud in the first tashahhud. And the similarly in the second tashahhud, the last tashahhud. You recite the same, exactly the same. Okay. But if you recite half of it, this is said opinion by many scholars. Okay. If you recite all of it, this is to be on the safe side. Although said by some scholars. طيب, guys. So after now, let's say you're praying Dhuhr prayer, okay? And you're reciting the tashahhud for the first tashahhud. Now when we stand for the third rak'ah, so who wants to read now, guys? What do we do? Who wants to read, guys? Abdurrahman Bawi, you want to read, son?
Okay, Ustad. Let me just zoom in. Third rakah's position.
Read the title.
We're forming the third rakah, unit of prayer. Transition to the third rakah's position. While transitioning to standing position for the third rakah, say Allahu Akbar, Allah is the greatest, and lift your hands when reaching the standing position as shown in the picture.
Good. So now when you move to the third rak'ah, there is a new act, which is to raise your hand. Remember we said that there are cases where you raise your hand like in takbir position. At the very beginning of the salah, takbiratul ihram, you say Allahu Akbar. Okay. After you recite al-Fatiha and you read another surah, when you go to ruku' position, you say Allahu Akbar. You raise your hand, you say Allahu Akbar. Once you move to from ruku' position to standing position, you say Sami Allahu liman hamid. Also, you raise your hand like takbir position. Okay. The fourth position where you raise your hands is like when moving from the second rak'ah up after the tashahhud to the third rak'ah. You raise your hand. You say Allahu Akbar. So while moving up, you say Allahu Akbar. Once you reach in standing position, you raise your hand. Okay. So this is the fourth case where you raise your hand in salah. And then the same steps, exactly the same step. Al-Fatiha in the third rak'ah, but here in the third and fourth rak'ah, you don't recite verses of the Quran or a short chapter of the Quran. You only recite Al-Fatiha and that's it. And then you complete the same way like in the first rak'ah. You make ruku', you lift your head up from ruku', and then you go to sujood position until you complete the third rak'ah. If that salah was Maghrib prayer, after the third rak'ah, you remain seated. After the second sujood, you sit and you say the final tashahhud. Okay. But if you are going Dhuhr prayer, you stand up for the fourth rak'ah. And like we did in the third rak'ah, but without raising your hand. In the fourth rak'ah, you don't raise your hand. And then you go to sujood. Once you finish the two sujood, you sit for the final tashahhud. So let us see what happens in the final tashahhud here. So in the final tashahhud, once you sit for the final tashahhud, you recite the tashahhud that we have mentioned earlier. Okay. And notice how you sit. The sunnah recommended in sitting for the last tashahhud. This is the back view of the feet in the last tashahhud for the 3 rak'ah or 4 rak'ah. So you sit in a such way where you place your left foot underneath the right leg. You don't sit on the left foot, but you place it underneath the right leg. Let's say this is the right leg. You place you place your foot here and you sit on it like this, okay? And the right foot is up and tending toward the Kaaba direction. So this is in the last tashahhud of a prayer, which is 3 rak'ah or 4 rak'ah. 3 rak'ah prayer meaning what? Maghrib. 4 rak'ah meaning what? Dhuhr, Asr, and Isha. Do we sit like this in Fajr prayer? No. In the first tashahhud or the salah, which is 2 rak'ah only, we sit like this. Here. You see what I'm pointing at, guys? So in the case of the first tashahhud, or if the salah is only 2 rak'ah, this is the back view of the feet in the last tashahhud for 2 rak'ah prayer, such as Fajr prayer. Or in the first tashahhud, you sit like this. Remember, guys, I told you earlier, it's not allowed to sit in a specific way in the tashahhud, whether it is last or first tashahhud. What was that? You guys recall? Abdurrahman Arif, you have an answer?
Can you say again?
Yeah, I mean, I told you earlier, in the tashahhud, you're not allowed to sit in a specific way. But it was allowed in the sitting position between the 2 tashahhud, to sit in a such manner. Not allowed in the tashahhud. What is that sit? How is it exactly?
I'm confused.
But I don't get it. Still,
Okay, who can? Okay, let me just clarify one more time. Remember, guys, I told you earlier, if you sit between the 2 sujood, right? I told you you're allowed to sit in a specific way, where your foot is in a specific position. You're allowed to do that in sitting between the 2 sujood, but you're not allowed to do it while you are in tashahhud position. Who can recall? Okay, let me show you the picture so that you can understand what exactly I mean. Abdurrahman, go ahead.
The bending toes.
Ahsant. Bending the 2 toes, to sit while bending your 2 toes. Okay, in the Qibla direction, and you sit on top of it. This is not permissible in tashahhud. It's only permissible in the sitting between the 2 sujood. Let me see if there is a picture. I can show you. Okay. I don't think I have a picture for that. It's the same way like in the sujood. Okay, sujood here. Sujood. We're making sujood. Okay, there you go. You guys see this? Can you see this, guys?
yes, Ustad.
Answer me. Good.
Yes.
So this is while making sujood. Sometimes people in the same case, they sit on the foot in between the sujood in the same way, while the feet are in this position. They sit on them. Okay. To sit in between the 2 sajda in a such way, it's fine. Okay. But in tashahhud, it's not fine. Do you understand this, guys? It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. I can repeat that. You want me to repeat?
I'm still a bit confused.
Okay. Like I said, if someone in between the 2 sujood, okay, I made the first sujood, okay? Now I'm sitting between the sujood, then going to the second sujood. In between the sujood, it's fine to have my feet in such position, to sit on them while they are together, both toes facing the Qibla direction. It's fine to sit on them, okay, while sitting in between the 2 sujood, okay? But I cannot do this exact same sit while in tashahhud. In tashahhud, I have to bend my right foot, sit on it, and bend my left foot, sit on it, and right foot directed facing the other direction. Clear, guys? So this position, it's only allowed to sit on my feet in such position only if I am sitting between the two sujood, but not in tashahhud. Not in tashahhud. So
what
clear,
do you do
guys?
what do you do in tashahhud?
In tashahhud, like I said in the picture here, this picture, see? There you go. In this picture, if the salah is 2 rak'ah, you sit like this. Okay. Or if it is the first tashahhud or the first tashahhud, you sit like this. But if it is the second tashahhud from the sunnah, to sit like this. Guys?
I thought you said that when you're doing sujood, you're supposed to do like that.
When you're in sujood position, you make your feet and make your feet toward the Kaaba direction. Once you sit between the sujood, it's fine to keep your feet like that, as is, and you sit on them. It is fine to do so. Also, it is fine to sit in between the two sujood, like here. Okay, like the first tashahhud. It's fine to do that. While in the third rak'ah or the fourth rak'ah tashahhud, the second tashahhud, it's the sunnah to sit like this. If you sit all the time like this, this is fine. In between the sujood, for first tashahhud, second tashahhud, this is fine. Okay, this is fine. But better to sit for the third rak'ah tashahhud or the fourth rak'ah tashahhud like this. Are you with me, guys, or am I losing you?
Ustad,
Yes.
Go ahead, Abdurrahman.
regarding the sitting between two sujuds, when then the toes should be pointing towards the qibla. Is it
Okay.
fine if I don't point my toes towards the qibla when sitting between the sujud?
Yes, it's fine.
Like I just rest on them instead.
It's fine.
Then
It's
how
fine.
about when you're doing the tashahhud, where you have to do the cross foot thing? So notice how in the second picture, the right foot is pointed towards the qibla, the
Yes.
toes of the right foot.
Yes.
So can I also rest it? Like not so like the toes are not pointing towards the qibla.
It's fine. It's fine to do so. It's fine. But once you practice the sunnah, you get more reward. You get more reward. So if you're able to do so, why miss such a reward? Do your best to do it. Okay. So the more we stick to the sunnah, the more reward we collect. But if you fail to do so, or for some reason you don't do it, you don't sin. You only lose the reward of practicing that sunnah. But we do our best to imitate Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to the best that we can. Okay. طيب, in the book here, there is a summary for every salah, Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, and what are the steps. So you can refer to the book if you need to review the steps that we have talked about and how you go about performing the salah. And inshallah ta'ala, coming class, will hopefully complete the book. Okay, guys. Any questions so far?
No.
No questions. So we have now with us scholars who are aware of how to perform salah and how to go into details understanding the steps of salah, right? So right now, from now on, don't go and pray like I used to pray, if it is not according to the sunnah. Now you have to learn the steps. Try your best to practice and apply the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So don't be, careless about practicing that. Once we learn, we should put it into practice. Why put it into practice? We want to get more reward. We want to win the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says in the Quran, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُم. Say, if you really love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then follow me, meaning Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Allah shall give your sins, subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ. Allah shall love you and forgive your sins. So this is to win Allah's love, the exalted He is, by imitating Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to the best that we can in everything, not only in Salah, in everything. Yes, Ya Musa. Musa, you raised your hand?
No.
No, you didn't. You're just combing your hair. No problem. Tayyib, you guys. Any questions so far? All well, doing good? Ahsantum. So let us call it off here, inshallah ta'ala. And again, refer to the book. Guys, do you all have at least a soft copy of the book with you? If you don't have it, raise your hand.
I have it. The soft
Good.
copy.
If any one of you guys does not have it, raise your hand. Show me hand. Omar, why don't you have it, ya Omar? Musa even.
Wait, no, I have it. I'm sorry, I have it.
Omar, you have it. Good. Excellent.
Yeah,
Musa,
I think I have it. It's in my table.
good. It is also available in the Telegram channel. There is a copy there. I'll put it one more time there, okay? Musa, do you have access to our Telegram channel?
No.
You don't? Okay, guys, do any of you guys have the link for the channel available? Who has the link available? We can share it with Musa so he can join us. Let me try to type it down real quick.
I don't have the Aqidati book.
Okay, I'll share the book again in the Telegram channel. Okay. The channel is called Tarbiyyah Boys Channel. Tarbiyyah. Okay, Tarbiyyah Boys Channel. Okay, Musa, copy this link. Can you see it in the chat, Musa? Okay, copy this link and make sure you join the Telegram channel. I'll post all the books there. The Aqidati book and the Ibadati book. And also I'll post the third book, which is My Manners and Etiquette. Okay, guys? So, okay, I'll see you, inshallah ta'ala, coming Friday. But again, always go back to the notes, make all constant review to whatever we cover. Anything I post in the channel, try to read, share with those around you. Don't be selfish in learning and sharing, in understanding whatever issue in our deen. Make sure you share it and convey it to others as much as you can, inshallah. Barakallah fikum wa jazakumullahu khairah. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad.
I have a question.
Yes, ya Abdurrahman.
I want to send your text. My friends were confused.
Which one? Which text?
I forgot what it was.
You mean an article?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you, Abdurrahman, write to me what their confusion was. Okay. So we can make sure we can tackle and solve their confusion. And then you can share it with them. Okay, either I write down an answer for that doubt and you can share it with them, or I can record a voice answer to their doubts and you can share it with them, or you can convey it you yourself once you understand it very well.
Okay.
Deal, Abdurrahman?
Yes.
Okay, barakallah fik, son. Just make sure you write to me what their confusion is. Once you remember, you can share. You have your dad has my email, and you can share it with me, inshallah ta'ala, or my WhatsApp group, or my WhatsApp in private. You can write to me, inshallah ta'ala. Barakallah fikum, guys. So see you coming Friday, inshallah ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله
Walaikum
وبركاته.
salam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Usama, you were hiding, ya Usama. Where were you?